Hi, my name is Veronica, and I wanted to share some information about our ego, about judgment, and creating a new matrix, let's say, for ourselves. What I want to say, first of all, is that the words that I bring are words that are familiar, and so I use them just to give us reference points. However, taking them literally or having them have bigger meaning can be a little tricky because the information I'm bringing doesn't have words necessarily that fit the words that we have. So I'm doing the best that I can with the words that we have available to us. So as things are shifting, as we are moving into these higher frequencies, as we are starting to feel lighter and more awakened in our beingness, what we want to do is work in a way that is gentle and kind to ourselves. One of the last pieces of our awakening process, let's say, will be to dissolve or release the ego structure. So again, it's not to get rid of it or have it completely banished, let's say, but really to shift that ego. We are shifting that ego structure, that part of ourselves that believes in right and wrong, good and bad, worthy, not worthy, into a higher, more lighter frequency in which there really exists just a love consciousness. As we are moving through this process, this denser ego is holding on to this sense of judgment. In my own experience, judgment has been a good thing for me. It has helped me as an intuitive see the difference between people I want to associate with and those who have energy frequencies that don't necessarily feel good to me. So to say we want to completely release that can be really tricky. For each of us, it will be a little bit different. That one thing, let's say, that one thing that keeps us bound to suffering, to judgment, to this time-space continuum that feels very limited. For me specifically, it is the judgment aspect. Whenever I get stuck in that place of judgment, I try to differentiate judgment and discernment. Discerning is a quality that I think is helpful, to discern the difference between that which feels resonant and joyful and that which does not, right? And at the same time, the ego can keep us trapped thinking that we are discerning when we are actually judging. And again, the words are really very similar, but I'm trying to make a difference just so we have a sense of common ground. For me, judgment shows up in this person is a particular way. This person is a different way. This person is a little bit too blah, 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 whatever the story might be that I've associated with it for me, and therefore I don't want them in my energy field. This person is this type of person, and therefore I do want them in my field. All of that is fine, except that what I have found is that I have very few people that I say, this person is somebody who I do enjoy having in my energy field, and really accepting these people, the people who may, to me, feel like their energy isn't as compatible, and somehow judging that they are not as worthy or as light or whatever as I might enjoy or want them to be. What that has done is created a barrier or a block to my own joy by not allowing the energy fields to be penetrated by what we would call all love consciousness. We are all divine beings. We all have these places in us that might be a little bit denser, where our ego is sort of holding on, and that's okay. And yet, does that make us less worthy, less lovable, etc.? So one of the pieces that I personally have been working on is this releasing of judgment. And in a meditation recently, I was trying to take that in, and I thought, boy, am I really going to be able to release this? Am I going to be able to let go, really let go of my judgment and let love penetrate through that? After I thought, well, maybe I'll consider it, I had no idea how. How would this happen? A picture then came to me, and this is where I'm talking about also shifting this idea of creating a whole new structure, a whole new matrix. So as our ego dissolves, as the old world starts to collapse, as things start to fall apart, one of the things that we will start to feel, if you're not already feeling, is this sense of instability, that we have no more foundation, no more structure to hold on to. This can be a very frightening experience, and in the need to hold on to, that ego's need to hold on to, we may start to grasp old structures, and they can be old habits, addictions, relationships that don't serve us, and so on. What I saw was a new way to connect into a frequency that feels really good and also rebuilds a structure. Very simple method I wanted to share. I am assuming that all of us have at least a handful of people that we consider a yummy frequency, a frequency that feels compatible to ours, if not higher than ours, that we can see as that light, as that new vision of what we want, that we would love to have, let's say, in our entire environment. So with that, what we can start to do is imagine those people. For some people, it may not be somebody real or somebody you know. It may be a saint or a sage or some higher being, an ascended master even. There's no judgment as to who you select. I think there is validity in selecting people you actually know, however. So maybe you include an ascended master, you can call on whoever, but also include people who are real and tangible, even if you don't know them. So in that, what you can do is start to call upon energetically, not necessarily having to call them on the phone, energetically, who it is that you want to be that structure for you. If we are all one, you're simply calling on an aspect of yourself that has gotten to a level that feels very good and very compatible for you. So in that space of creating the new structure, you can do this through a meditation, you can do it through a simple visualization, it doesn't really matter. Call upon that person and the next and the next to create this new structure for you. Now, the visualization that came to me was a spiral that spiraled around me, sort of like our DNA. If you want to have one going one way and the other going the other way for a double helix, by all means do that. What we're doing is creating an entirely new structure of our DNA on the outside of our energy field and allowing it to come on to the inside, so that eventually the DNA within us can entrain with the image that we are creating outwardly. If that image, the DNA structure, doesn't work for you, that's fine. If there's a certain sacred geometry that you would like to start with, perhaps you want to do a pyramid, by all means do that. Whatever feels right to your being, you can imagine it around you to be that structure that is encapsulating you with these high frequency beings. Do this as often as feels right, maybe in the morning, maybe in the evening. But what you're doing is you're starting to call upon that part of yourself that is ready to have a whole new energy field, a whole new structure to hold on to that will feel good to that ego body as we move into this higher realm. So food for thought. I hope it works for you. I've enjoyed doing it myself, and all is truly well as we are shifting into these newer realms. Thank you.